Hello all, and welcome to this evening's beer review, which I am dubbing the My Hair Looks Eccentric beer review. So I have like the shirt on and everything, and I didn't notice it until I actually hit play on the video, but I kind of, it's very hot and humid today, and, I didn't really comb my hair because I've been home all day just doing chores and playing games and whatnot, as I am wont to do on my Fridays. And I noticed that I look I look like you know um, a background character in a Sopranos episode right now. You can just call me Big Paulie or something like that. I don't know. That was a terrible impression of a New Jersey accent, I suppose. Anyways, what are we reviewing today? I didn't realize I reviewed this before until I checked after I bought it. And apparently I reviewed this before in 2017, but I'm okay reviewing it. It's been 6 years. And I believe the place where it's brewed has changed. So it is now brewed solely in Plzeň, the Czech Republic. And ownership has changed, but it's not independent. It's just kind of changed mass ownership. So now it's owned by Asahi in Japan. This is, of course, Pilsner Urquell. One might say the Pilsner of the Bohemian style. It's not truly. There's several. There's Budvar, and a couple of others that I'm not even going to make an effort to try to pronounce because I know I will slaughter it. This is 4.4 ABV. And of course, I'm going to be pouring it into the Pilsner glass because, I mean, this is the Pilsner. I wonder why they got the name Urquell. It doesn't sound particularly German or Czech. And so, maybe I'll go and talk about that later. I want to get to the beer because it's hot. I've been sweating all day. And at 4.4 ABV and whatnot, this is going to be a hella refreshing thing to have. Okay. Nice golden yellow. Seems to be a hair darker than most other Bohemian Pilsners I've reviewed. Style-wise, I haven't drank that many actual Bohemian Pilsners. With a frothy to fluffy white head. It is somewhat closed up because it's cold. So, bready malts and a sort of floral and spicy hopping. Hops used in this are Saaz hops. That's an old world style noble hop. Very classical, as it were. And just beautifully carbonated. Just look at that. Onto the palate. It's so interesting to me how, like, the entire tasting process, from front to finish, it's so different from any other Pilsner I've had. It's still to style, but it just transitions in a completely different way. So up front, you get a nice mild breadiness. Then the hop bitterness comes in the midst, and it's not like, you know, It's not like an insane hot bitterness, you know. It's not like a hoppy lager. It's just like the bitterness comes in there and kind of clears off that breadiness, leaving an interesting, almost um, almost fermented kind of like subtle sour taste in the finish before it completely clears in the long finish, except for a slight residual hot bitterness. Very slight, though. You only really taste it when you kind of move your tongue around. Very refreshing, but still very, very thick mouth feel for something that's only 4.4 ABV. Very smooth, almost creamy mouth feel, in not in the sense of like cream, but in the sense of just round and smooth and good feeling. It goes down easy. Interestingly, those noble hops show up more in the top note than they do in the bouquet. And the malts kind of come across as crackery to bready on the palate. It's a bit sweeter in the nose. Hmm. I do enjoy I do enjoy these standards, you know. So it's really one of those hallmarks of the Czech slash Bohemian style beer. Well, Bohemian style Pilsner. You know, very soft on the mouthfeel because it's made with soft water. A slight sweetness on the palate. Yeah, I definitely like the Czech Pilsner style over the German Pilsner style. Uh, I love them both, and I will willingly drink both. But there's something about like the roundness of the Czech Pilsner versus the bracing dryness and sharpness of a German Pilsner that appeals to me more. Now, some reviews for this aren't very, you know, it kind of has mixed reviews. And I think that's because people nowadays expect more of a hop presence in the nose and in the top note. Doesn't really matter so much for me. You know, so much of the Czech style is in its refreshing aspect, in its tactile mouth feel. So this one is best by February 7th, 24. So it's fairly fresh, I would venture. Certainly, certainly tastes fresh. Mm. This is such a good beer. Yeah, as I said in my previous review, and I still hold to it, this is definitely a must check in the world of beer. I mean, this is one of the ones you just have to kind of drink. I mean, it's one of those influential ones. It's a hallmark of the style, and all in all, it's just good. And if you're like me and you like things that are sessionable, my goodness, at 4.4 ABV, you could go and drink an entire sixer of these in an afternoon. And no, I'm not going to do that because I only have 4 left. But yeah, those 4 are all going to get drunk. 2 right now, and then 2 when dinner's ready. But yeah. Pilsner Urquell. Unique, different, but still ultimately to style. And that, folks, is your beer review for this afternoon. Prost.